Launched on June 1st, 1980, revolutionary news channel CNN is the first ever 24/7 dedicated news channel.
We intend to cover all the news all the time. And since we're going to be on for such a long period, continuously, barring satellite problems in the future, we won't be signing off until the world ends.
Good morning, I'm Bob Jameson.
The traditional networks broadcast news only 3 times daily.
This is NBC Nightly News.
Good evening.
Ted Turner, the mouth from the South, is shaking things up.
I thought it would be something that would be very convenient for people to be able to tune in the news whenever they wanted to. I thought it would be a hit.
Well, Major League Baseball is looking for a new commissioner.
But when CNN first launches, it's kind of a joke.
In a rematch. Whoa, chair broke.
And as a monitor hits the floor in the studio, scientists say it was full of bad camera angles, out of focus video.
I thought, my gosh, this thing's never going to work. This is ridiculous. Hey, listen, I got a major problem.
They were kind of laughed at. They were called the Chicken News Network, and people made fun of them.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll get better by the end of the week.
Good night.
CNN's shaky start means it isn't seen as a threat by the 3 major news networks, despite Ted Turner's best intentions.
We were attacking the broadcast establishment. It's World War III, as far as I was concerned.
But soon, there's a breaking story that makes CNN a major league player.
The world has reacted with immense shock and grief to the first rock and roll assassination.
On December 8th, 1980, 6 months after CNN's launch, John Lennon is shot outside his New York apartment. Bundled into the back of a police car and taken to the nearest hospital for treatment.
A stretcher was wheeled in. One police officer stood next to another police officer and whispered, "It's John Lennon."
Nurse Barbara Camera is on duty in the ER as the patient is admitted.
When John Lennon first arrived, no one even knew who he was. He had no pulse, no blood pressure. He had 4 entrance wounds on his chest and 3 exit wounds on his back.
Lennon's assassin, Mark David Chapman, is a delusional fan seeking notoriety. Minutes after Lennon is admitted, Yoko Ono arrives at the hospital.
Yoko Ono was also brought in by police car, and she said, "Please tell me he's okay." Dr. Stephen Lin was the director of the emergency room, and Stephen said, "I'm sorry, I cannot tell you that." And he left the room. She stared at me for a minute, and she said, "He's gone." And I said, "Yes, he is. He's dead." She was totally dignified. She had just seen her husband blown away in front of her eyes. And we hugged each other. She cried. I held her. She was exactly how any of us would have been in the same circumstance.
By chance, one of ABC's news producers, Alan Weiss, is lying on a gurney in the same hospital after a motorcycle accident.
There was a slamming of a door, and a guy comes running in yelling, "We've got a gunshot in the chest." Anytime you hear about somebody being shot in the chest that's not in a war zone, your antenna go up as a journalist. Then 2 officers come out, and one says to the other, "Can you believe it? John Lennon." I had to get to a phone.
We didn't know he was a journalist. We didn't know what he was going to do. And we had telephones in the hallway, and he actually called the story in on our telephone before we had even pronounced John Lennon dead.
I called the newsroom, and the assignment editor for the late night news answers. I say, "I'm in the hospital, and John Lennon has been shot. He's dead."
If I could have killed somebody that night, it definitely would have been Alan Weiss.
ABC's Evening News isn't due to be broadcast until after Monday Night Football.
Now we're looking at a 37-yard field goal.
The story is considered so big that sportscaster Howard Cosell breaks the news over the game.
Remember, this is just a football game, no matter who wins or loses. An unspeakable tragedy confirmed to us by ABC News in New York City. John Lennon, outside of his apartment building on the west side of New York City, the most famous perhaps of all of the Beatles, shot twice in the back rushed to Roosevelt Hospital, dead on arrival.
Word swiftly spreads. Reporters trip over one another to get to the scene, ready to record material for breaking news briefs and West Coast updates. But CNN can go live and for as long as the story demands.
I'm Mary Alice Williams, New York bureau chief for the Cable News Network.
CNN's Mary Alice Williams arrives on the scene in a brand new live truck.
We're here to prove that love is not dead, even though John is.
But the initial response from Lennon's grieving fans to the CNN news team is hostile.
People started rocking the truck. You're in the way. Get your news media. Get out of here. I climbed down and said to all of them, we are taking this to the whole world.